And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Shed End podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here. To my right, we have the one and only James Renton. My microphone's backwards. And to my left, we have Josh, that guy whose Twitter name I can't remember. Anyways, joining us back here for episode 3. We've got a bit to talk about today. Maybe a bit of a shorter episode considering there's not been too much going on. A few possible transfer dealings that we've heard through the grapevine, as well as obviously the most recent games that have been played. Just a heads up, we are recording this one day before the Melbourne City game, so if Glory somehow get drubbed 6-0 by that, or something along those lines, make sure you tune into episode 4 for all of our mental breakdowns and everything of the sort. But lads, just along those lines, I mean, let's just get straight into it. I mean, only a few games left of the season. Obviously, we've had all this talk of, squad rotations and who do we want in next year, who do we want out. But we've got a lot of good sources telling us that the Glory have made their transfer dealings very early. Now, this is something that we said we wanted to see going forward, more sort of like in the Popovich era where we get our transfers done very early, have a good preseason behind us. And it seems like we're getting something similar now. All the rumours are pointing towards 2 signings for the Glories to be making. One, which is a bit more mainstream, is Brandon O'Neill, obviously left the Perth Glory 2 years ago to return to Newcastle Jets after some family tragedies occurred. And we wish him and his family all the best in that still. And the second one is a bit more of a, high-profile one in terms of the name value that they bring. But firstly, let's just discuss the Brandon O'Neill deal. Now, James, we've been calling out for a proper 6 this entire season. I mean, Jesus Christ, the double pivot of Giordano Colli and Amini, and Gio Colli and Oli Buzanic, and Gio Colli and Jacob Muir, Johnny Katrumbis. It's a real shame that we have no number 6s at the club that,
Well, we do.
But aside from that, we've been calling out for an experienced 6. It looks like the Glory might have gotten their man, and it lines up with pretty much everything that Stan Lazaridis was saying with wanting to bring the Perth feel back with, WA signings. So what do you think about the Brandon O'Neill deal, and what do you think it's going to have an effect, wording? Do you think it's going to have a positive effect on the side going forward next season if it does happen?
Well, I think, first of all, it hasn't obviously been officially confirmed, but to have someone like Brandon O'Neill at the club, look, I think there's some mixed feelings among fans, I would say. I think because the fact that Brandon, when he came back to the club, obviously his father, Milo, was going through a real rough period with, I believe he had cancer at the time. And look, it was a very sad period, and it just happened to line up in terms of football reasons that Brandon could come back and play for Perth Glory. I wanted Brandon for some time, ever since it was made that Neil Kilkenny was going to leave the club. This was when Richie was still the coach. I was like, well, you got to get a good 6. Brandon O'Neill seems like the perfect candidate, and it seemed like it. But I was very disappointed in the way in which he left because, for me, he was the captain of the club. He signed a 3-year deal. He probably would have been on very good coin. I'm only speculating, but I imagine he would have been on good coin. And the fact that he walked away from it and then left to go to Newcastle and then was bigging up Newcastle, and now he's basically wanting to leave Newcastle. And I can't blame him because, look, Newcastle looked like a shit show. But to then go, I'm wanting to head back now to Perth, I think there are going to be some bridges that need to be mended, I think, with a lot of fans. I guess on my part, personally, I'm more concerned over whether he plays well because, for me, loyalty means shit all in the A-League. When Taggart left the club, I was pretty pissed off, and then he went to Brisbane. I was very annoyed with that. But when he came back, look, people were a little bit, iffy. But once he started scoring the goals, people didn't really care. And if Brandon O'Neill can put in 7, 8 out of 10 performances every week and be a real example, then I don't think people are really going to give 2 shits about the manner in which he left and the fact that he could be back on his way to glory. But, like we said at the beginning, the latest indication is that he is on his way back to Perth. And my hope is that he can put in a much better showing than he did in his most recent stint.
Alrighty. So, obviously, the other signing that we have going, Josh, we'll let you talk about this because the man shares your name, of course. perhaps the second best Josh that we've seen playing football today. Actually, no, he's not playing today because he's not in the squad, which is very telling. But Josh Risdon, possibly coming back to the Glory. Jesus, this has been a signing that we've been bigging up for years now, a possible return. And it looks like it could possibly be happening, obviously. Not confirmed yet by any of the clubs or the player or anything like that. But it looks like it could happen. Now, obviously, with Johnny Catrumbis' very good form this season, and obviously the likes of Trent Osler filling in at times, Jared Coluccio filling in at right back, and someone like Overy coming through the club as well. What sort of impact do you expect this Josh Risdon signing to have if it does go through?
Yeah, well, look, it's a bit tough on Catrumbis because he's had such a good season, and for him to he'll obviously be benched. I can't see him playing as a centre back. Josh Risdon, I mean, at the end of the day, is an upgrade in my eyes. I think it will be fantastic. Bringing him back. He's a WA boy. When did he last play? It was 10 years ago, right?
Something like that.
Yeah,
he left at the end of the
16-17 season. But yeah, I've been saying it for a while. I think I said last season at the start I'd like to bring Trent Sainsbury and Josh Risdon back, one of those guys, and I think he'd be fantastic, and I definitely think he'll massively improve our back line. I would like to see us get another left back as well, because I feel like that's where we've struggled more than particularly the right back role, but either way I think it'd be fantastic.
That's fair enough. I mean, something that I always heard from my mates who did watch Perth Glory back in the day was more along the lines that Josh Risdon was really one of those guys, or one of those Australians from the A-League that could have possibly made the jump to Europe. Maybe the ambition just wasn't there, or maybe they were just a bit more comfortable staying in Australia. Obviously earned very good coin at the Wanderers, and now I'm assuming he does earn a good coin at Western United, being their captain. Is this potentially a deal where we're getting them at a cut price? Now, obviously we do know that the Glory have experienced several years of financial hardship under the governance of Tony Sage, and pretty much everything that we've heard is that maybe the next 1-2 years are going to be sort of more looking at maybe more of a money ball strategy, something like that, where we're looking to not necessarily splash the cash and get big name signings, but more look at players that are available at a bit more of a cut price. Obviously, Josh Risdon and Brandon O'Neill, while they're big name players, are players that are, in and around their 30s, maybe are a bit more unwanted by the rest of the league because of that age profile, but ironically do fit what we need, which is experience and just solid depth in those positions. And especially at right back, next season, potentially having Risdon and Catrumbis, I genuinely think we could be set with having some of the best defensive depth, at least, in the A-League next season. Now, obviously, we talked about Trent Sainsbury, his possible joining as a Perth boy, but some other rumours came out during the week. Now, let's just preface this. These are rumours, so we can't really,
I'll just discuss them first and foremost so that we don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's my understanding that we've been talking to a lot of players because it looks to be that the strategy of our recruitment going into next season is that we want to build a decent team, but we have to be clever with how we manipulate the salary cap, because we clearly don't have a big budget, because there's a lot of things that Ross and Stan and the Pelligra group in general have to do in terms of getting the club ready for next season. And I think when we look at the squad as well, look, it's not a great squad, but you chuck in a couple really decent senior players, and if they perform well, that ability to then perform consistently could really be present next season. So I'll be really interested to see who we do bring in. But as a disclaimer, there's just rumours at the moment. And I'm aware of a few of the players that we're supposedly either in talks with or are interested in. There's a few good ones, but naturally due to our budget, we're probably going to have to be a bit clever and see if we can maybe, like I said, be clever with how we go about our business. But, I think if we're going to also talk about the need for defenders, I think that's a critical one. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, the Adelaide game, I've not seen more diabolical defending in a very long time. It was piss poor. And, you know, the fact that we couldn't defend was why we lost the game. And then you listen to what Taggart said at full time. We don't have a like that killing edge, right? That winning mentality where you can just see out a game. Because I don't think we've had a 2-0 lead at all this season. Bar the Mariners game where it was the last couple minutes of added time and Taggart got the second one to win 2-0. We just can't seem to do it. And it's like the need for good senior players in the team because you've got a lot of talent. Like we've obviously hyped up Majeka Dunmi more times than anyone. And Nasmo's got potential. Daniel Benny's got potential. But Bodnar's probably not going to be with us next season. As much as I love Luke, and we all love Luke, it just doesn't seem like old mate rates him, unfortunately. But we also have to think bigger picture as well. We've got some young kids that are coming through that would be considered highly rated in terms of their age group across the country. You know, that we've got a very good group of, let's say, young players who have the potential to make it in the A-League rather than just young players that are going to get thrown in the A-League and then go back to the NPL again. These are guys that are really good. You know, there's a kid, I'll admit I don't know too much about him, but I've been made aware of his name before, Santiago Flores, a kid that's playing in the NPL. Last season, mate, 27 goals. 27 goals. And he scored, I'm pretty sure, in one of their recent games. Most recent. Yeah. What a player. And we got more guys that we're aware of. So, you know, the need to get good senior players in, that I believe will create a better environment for our young guys to then come through and play. But we just got to get that sorted.
Or just on the Glory Academy quickly, I mean, you've said it before publicly and I think on the podcast as well, that, you know, the Glory are really, and Western Australia in general is more one of the most untapped markets in terms of potential talents. Yeah. And it's really showing this season with the Perth Glory NPL side. Now, given the Perth Glory NPL side in recent years hasn't been fantastic, you know, nearly getting relegated last season and not being too impressive the season before that either. But my goodness, there's some players in this current cohort that they have. Andriano Labib, Jalen Pierman, we already know about them, but Santiago Flores coming through as well. Sebastian Despotovsky, just the namesake of Bobby himself. Can he live up to the potential? We'll wait and see. And then other guys coming through, Alex Bolton, phenomenal box-to-box player. Aiki Sukamoto, who I'm sure is going to get his chance with the team next season as well. You have and Beckham Baker, Mark Dickerson as well, yeah. And Beckham Baker, obviously one of Australia's brightest young talents, spent time over in Spain with Villarreal as well. But the cohort that we have coming through at least is very, very exciting. But it makes it all the more important that we do pick up those correct sort of players to hopefully mentor this next generation of young talent that we have coming through. It's so vital that someone like an Aiki Sukamoto, who right now is 19 years old and is reaching that sort of age where they need to be playing first-team football or they need to be getting minutes, bringing in a Brandon O'Neill, while you could look at it on one hand and say, well, you're limiting their opportunities, you can look at it on the other hand and say, well, what better mentor to have to a Perth Glory Academy lad than a lad who was brought up in WA, who knows the Perth Glory like the back of his fucking hand, and is going to be able to just sit him down and just mentor him on how to be a class number 6 in the A-League. It is absolutely imperative. And Santiago Flores, Daniel Benny, Joel Anasmo, Jaden Gorman.
There's another kid as well.
I think I know who you're talking about. But
it's one of the wingers that they've got.
Yeah, I can't quite...
I forgot how you say his name, but he's a techie player.
Yeah.
Like Hua, is that right? Hua? No,
something like that. Look, go on Squatty and check this out.
It was actually on Glory's website.
Oh, was it on Glory's website?
Yeah.
But while James is searching that up, the current cohort that we have is absolutely phenomenal. Like, holy shit.
And I just want to add, like the game against Adelaide last week, that was by far Benny's best game.
Oh,
He looks so confident on the ball, man. I think he had a few opportunities, but yeah, just the difference between the last week and the week before, he just looked on another level, and I'm excited to see him against City tomorrow. I think the goals will keep on coming. I think he will get another one before the season ends, but next season, man, I think he won't be with us long. He will be off to Europe.
Yeah. Kwan and go.
Kwan and O, yeah.
Yeah. That's him. Kwan and go.
There you go. But yeah, fantastic player. Also, Daniel Benny celebrating his 18th birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Daniel. Get on the Bevs.
We may as well.
Legally for the first time in public. But
we may as well talk about his performance against Adelaide.
We might as well. But yeah, before we get onto it, Daniel, happy birthday. You're probably not watching this because we have 35 subs.
Happy birthday, brother.
But regardless, happy birthday. Hope to see you smash it tomorrow against Melbourne City. But let's get on to performances versus Adelaide. We've sort of discussed the whole team performance. James, you sort of touched on that. And I think we can agree not really a lot of sort of killer mentality shown by the boys at times, especially after going up 2-0, conceding 2 goals as quickly as we did. It was very, very disappointing. But shit, it was a very bright start, very good start. And yeah, Daniel Benny, one of the standout performers. He's really been coming into his own these last few weeks. Very positive signs. A lot of people I've seen saying that he deserves that sort of starting right winger role going into next season. Now, obviously, there is the potential for us to go back in for someone like a Ryan Williams whose contract is expiring, or maybe even someone along the lines of a Dimi Petratos whose contract's expiring in India this season. But do you go for that more expensive winger? Do you trust Daniel Benny? I mean, the performances have been speaking for themselves recently, but let's maybe shy away from the transfer talk for now. Let's just just give Daniel his credit. What do you have to say about that performance, James?
I'll try and break it down. I mean, look, I think may as well talk about the 2 positives from that game.
Taggart and Taggart?
No, Taggart and no, Taggart and Benny, right? I thought, okay, Adam Taggart was bound to get on the score sheet after his Sydney game where, you know, his accuracy was like Stevie Wonder going for a piss at night. You know, he was missing the toilet seat. It was splattering everywhere. He just couldn't hit the target. But he's a clinical striker on his day. That's the thing. And, you know, the great thing was that when he had those 2 chances early on to make it, you know, 1-0 and then 2-0, mate, he was sharp, reacted well. His movement for the second goal, he's such a crafty striker. And I said it on the first podcast, there aren't many strikers in the A-League that have been a better penalty box movement than Taggart. Maybe Fornaroli, he's up there, I would think. But Taggart himself as a striker was fantastic. But Daniel Benny, you know, this is a guy that is continuing to impress. I think as someone with the physical profile that he has, like with how... You all right? He can't drink his 7-Up. But Benny is a strong lad. And I think he's getting quicker. I think he's getting more confident. And I think he's getting there and he's ticking along the right way. And I think next season, look, I'm anticipating a big season from him. You know, I think like I've said before on the show, I think Benny's future is away from the club because I think he's a player that has, you know, so much potential with him being in that European system. I think he could really get going.
You want to start him off in a low division. You can't just chuck him straight in the deep.
Yeah, no, of course. And I think the better idea would be maybe he gets bought up by a big club and then gets loaned out to a little one where he can get more game time. But I just wanted to touch on the fact that we had that capitulation in the first half. Now, I couldn't go to the game because I had my own game, but I watched it back. And the manner in which we defended was absolutely pathetic. It was diabolical. It was crap. I know you blokes might have been tired. It was 35 degrees. I get that. I had a game as well, and we were Struggletown as well. But that was shocking. You know, the first goal, you know, Hiroshi Ibusuki is not like a fox in the box. He's not like a little cat. He's a big tree. You're not going to miss him, right? He's that huge. You know, he probably would have his head sticking out of the planet when the satellites come around from NASA just to do their, you know, orbital check, right? But you can't leave a player like him all by himself in the box. That's number one. Number two, for Zach Clough's goal, who was on him?
So much space.
No, yeah, mate, he had the keys to Perth down that left-hand side. And then the third one really pissed me off because Mustiamini, look, great player, good leader, but that's poor leadership from a senior player late on in the game to try and foul Stefan Mork because you got caught out of position. You try and drag him back and then you give up. He has more desire to get past you. You know, from a senior player, that can't just happen. You know, even if it wasn't Musti, if it was one of those other senior players like Latchman or even Taggart was doing something stupid, or if Ollie Sowell made a mistake or Shushnyar made a mistake like that, or Katrumbus, I'd be going in just as hard because when you've got a lot of young boys out there, you know, your Warlands, your Rawlins, your G. Collies, your Khalid, but technically speaking, he's no, Katrumbus is a couple years older.
No, he's not. I can't give
He is.
How old is he?
He's 26.
Yeah. Well, still, I can't give the young card anymore.
Oh, brother.
Benny doing more.
Vendetta.
The agenda. Fuck.
No, but Benny's 18 today. And
Yeah.
he's doing more than G. Collie.
But there's a difference though, because G has been thrusted into a midfield position where he's clearly not good enough in. Like Ben Smith, I'll give him a shout out. You're switched on. I like what you do for the West Australian. You do good shit. He said in one of his pieces, he understands. It was the no cattle argument that I sent to you guys, right? That we don't have the cattle. That whole trope that gets thrown out by coaches at times or club presidents. We don't have the cattle. Well, we sort of don't, but at the same time, for our midfield, which has been shit, why are you playing? And this is a question to Stadge. Why are you playing someone that under previous coaches has struggled to play that number 6 role, and then you're wanting him to play a role where he's not comfortable? It's like, you're not going to get the best out of a player like G. Collier. I think G would be much better, like we've always said, as an advanced 8. So naturally, his defensive work rate's going to be pretty, low, let's be honest. And then with Mustiamini, he's more of an 8 as well. So this is why a signing like Brandon O'Neill, where he's got that defensive nous, we're going to need it. But just a really poor performance against Adelaide. Nestor Irankunda, great talent, probably should have had 2 assists and a goal. That one where he was running through because Wallen missed the bounce. I mean, gee whiz, I thought curtains at that moment. But, somehow Ollie Sale pulled off a great one-on-one save, but just really, really poor performance.
Now, I'm going to speak less about the actual team and more about the match day experience.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, that was the worst match day experience I've been to in a while. Okay, I get there, I have to empty my bottles, like plastic bottle, into a cup. Because apparently people are throwing bottles at players and stuff, but I can still throw a cup. It doesn't make sense. I have to put on wristbands to get in front of the shed. I paid $20 for a margarita pizza. That embarrasses the whole nation.
Let's bring it up now. Okay, we're going to talk about the margarita pizza. Okay.
But I'm thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have put that into Footy Scram because now I've sort of embarrassed the whole nation.
No, you absolutely
had to
should
do
have.
it.
You absolutely should have. And I'm glad
It was a bit of a joke.
I'm glad it got put on Footy Scram. And are we allowed to tell them the DM you received? Or?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. But anyway, I'm just going to finish. 3 p.m. on a Sunday, I was cooking out there. You could just see everyone trying to sit in the shade. It just wasn't a fun experience. Whoever decided 3 p.m. on a Sunday, obviously you can't predict the weather.
We got asked that question by one of the listeners, one of the viewers, friend of the channel. Friend of the channel, Brock, hope you're doing well, mate, about 3 p.m. kickoffs. Are the APL drunk? We've told them, as fans, and I'm sure the club has for years, you are bloody stupid putting a Perth Glory game at before 5 o'clock when it's hot. Okay, great, you can't tell if it's going to be hot or not, but even still, before 5 o'clock, it's going to be pretty hot, guys. And, I remember we went to that Western Sydney game. We were cooking. It would have been probably a lot worse at the Adelaide game where it was 35. And then obviously your pizza, but then the cheeky message from Venues West as well. I mean, mate, you got to get into that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so
Take us through the whole story, start to finish.
Whole story.
We want the listeners at home want to hear this.
I'll try and be as detailed as I can. Wait, is this not the right way?
It's that way.
Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. I go in, buy my pizza. I probably should have looked at it when I bought it, but you just you can't expect to look at it. I just go margarita, yeah, she'll be right. I buy it. they're like, oh, they'll be $20. I'm like, Jesus Christ, all right. That's a bit steep. It better be good. Yeah, we'll chuck a photo up now. I'm like, oh, it better be good. Go back to my seat. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is this? It's like a frisbee, man. It's like literally it's a burnt frisbee. It was rock solid. Anyway, I take it back. I'm like, oh, do you mind if I swap this for another one? Like, this doesn't look right. And then they're like, oh no, this is how it's meant to be. And then and I'm like, what do you mean this is? They're like, oh, we just like preheat them or whatever. They're just
too long.
Yeah, and then like I look at the other one. This guy had like a meat lovers, which was the other one. It looked the exact same. Anyway, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna haggle them over a refund. They're busy, whatever. Like I probably should have, but like, it was a bit embarrassing. You know what I mean? If getting a refund for $20 when it's full and they're obviously busy, you know, I cut the staff a bit of slack. But yeah, no, I didn't end up eating it. It was horrible. I took a photo, posted it, it blew up. I woke up to my phone with like 2 million views on Twitter. And then I like halfway through the day, I get a DM from HBF Park Venues West on Twitter. It was I think it was the CEO. CEO owner, whatever. And she's like, oh, I'd like to compensate you and give you a full refund. Oh, you're doing me such a favour. And as well, not only that, a free ticket to the next game. Oh yeah, it's not like I'm a member though, but yeah, like
Tried offering a free ticket to a Perth Glory season membership holder and compensating $20.
And go to another 3 p.m. home game. Just
Yep, there you go. No, I said this to you as well. You should have asked her for $1. You should have asked her for $1 compensation for every like you got on Twitter.
No, I said give me 10 grand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your response was give me 10 grand, and then you got blocked by the official Venues West account.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, it just said I can't send messages.
They
anymore.
stopped.
Yeah,
messaging,
that means blocked. That means blocked.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
But I just want to touch on that as well, because Glory do for members, they always do like a member survey. Even at times they do an HBF Park survey. HBF Park, like, number one, the ticket pricing is a major turn-off for families and just general fans that want to come out to watch sport. And, you know, the amount of money that you have to pay to... It doesn't justify the cost. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because obviously, we could talk about the football on show. Yeah, it can be good. Yeah, it can be shit. But when, Josh, you sent that picture of your pizza... I mean, all the Italians were obviously losing it in the comments. I mean, I'm sure old mate here would have been pretty pissed off with it. Yeah. And it's like, but it's not a surprise because HBF basically gouged you to buy food. And not only that, if you want to buy some booze, it might be a legal thing, but they only allow you to have mid-strength. And even still, that is still heavily watered down. So... HBF, Venues West, sort your shit out, or Ross is going to pull us out, and we'll build our own stadium. But you know,
I hope so. Genuinely, I've had enough of this shit with fucking HBF Park. It has Venues West. Yeah. You are the most disgraceful company I've ever seen. Your match day experience is horrible. Just everything. The pricing, the whole thing with the securities, the secos when we went to the Sydney game.
And the Newcastle game as well.
There was an empty stadium. What was it, 3,500 people or something like that? And we were getting hassled out of our seats because, oh, you can't sit in the members only area. Yeah, sure, fair enough, mate. You go there, 2 people sat in the fucking row of 1,500 seats, and we're getting hassled to get out of our seats and move upwards. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, we want to sit down.
What I will say as well, back to last week, I go down, because I didn't know they changed it where you need wristbands. I go down, obviously they make me change my drink, but they're like, oh, they stand in front of me and block me. No, you need a wristband, Like, what is this crap? I just want to sit in my seat. Yeah. Like, I understand, like, there's a few people that ruin it for the rest of us, but it's stupid. But yeah, listen here, Susan, the owner, CEO, whatever you are, if you don't sort his stuff out, Ross is gonna send his boys over, you know.
But I'll just add on that as well. Like, there's obviously the league-wide problem with how the secos are and just the game day experience is for a lot of fans. But you know, HBF Park has had a long history with dodgy security, dodgy atmosphere, dodgy everything. I mean, Mick So got kicked out from the shed because he took his shirt off and was going a bit of a helicopter with his shirt. And it took even the CEO, Tony Pinata, to go, what the fuck, let him back in.
He did the coin toss in the next game.
He did the coin toss in the next game. And it's like match day experience at Perth Glory Games this season has been probably one of the worst it has been in a very long time. I can see, look, I'm not saying that there's no effort, but I'm just saying, okay, the quality. It's like, okay, remember the old MC that we used to have? I think his name was Tyson, the guy from last season and the seasons before. He was iconic, right? He could rev up a crowd. The guys that we have now, it's not the same. It's just the energy's not there, and then the audio keeps cutting in, keeps cutting out, and the graphics are not in the right time. They're not in sync. I remember that first Newcastle game. The messages that I got from Matt Vanderberg and a couple other Newcastle fans, they were like, "The fuck? Did they just miss like half our team? Bruce Camus, who's that?" Like, again, like seriously, HBF Park, sort your shit out. Whoever's the stadium manager or the events manager at Glory, you know, you guys got to pull your socks up for this game or for next season especially, because, you know, fans deserve a better product. And if you have a good product off the field as well as a good product on the field, then you'll get the members and the fans coming back. Then you'll start making money and we'll be all good again. But it seems like, you know, there's a fair bit of work to do on and off the field.
I had an actual like detailed plan of how to fix the match day experience, and it revolved around knocking down HBF Park, rebuilding an identical stadium somewhere else, renaming it NIB Stadium, and making sure that all food sold in the stadium was only Chicken Treat. Chicken Treat front of the shirt, sponsor on the new kits. Oh, please. Please. The company is going out of business. It will be so cheap. Oh, my God.
No, we need Ross to bring over his chefs from Catania. Make us some nice, authentic pizzas. Yeah, proper margarita.
Mate, if Ross saw that pizza that you had, mate, he would have gone, shit, I'm pulling my money out, or shit, I've got to sort out the pizzas, guys. Forget getting a marquee signing. We've got to get better pizzas. I mean, we even used to have a pizza place sponsor our player of the game thing last season. Yeah. So what the hell's happened with our pizzas this season, guys? But anyway.
Can I also say, the most pointless thing about our sponsorships this season, why are we sponsored by Zambreros when there's no promotional stuff outside of the fact that we have a Zam stand, which is just a normal ass fucking stand?
You get the flyer, but that's about it.
No, but that's the thing. You get a flyer, which is, here, this weekend only, you can get $10 burritos instead of $13. But it's just like,
where's the Zambrero stand? Set
up a Zambrero stand where we can actually buy Zambreros. Or, I had an idea for this. Your player of the week, every week, have a promotional burrito or item or something that at the next Glory game you can go to. Say you can buy the Kolakovsky burrito special where it's a fucking burrito with this. Or yeah, something like that.
The thing is, Grilled do this, right? Whenever Fremantle win, you get a free burger. Oh no, you choose your team on their app. No, it's Grilled. No, but it's Grilled as well. Grilled do it.
Do Grilled do it as well?
Yeah, Grilled on their app.
Macca's always do the buy one. If Glory or if Freo win, you then show them your ticket, get a free Big Mac. Yeah. Glory should do something.
But Grilled should do like get a free taco or something.
Yeah, you mean Zambrero?
Zambreros, yeah.
Zambrero for Glory. It's like, you know, Anthony Radish, mate, you should. Anthony, get us on, mate. We'll get us in the office or something, mate. We'll brainstorm some ideas with you. But that's it. Hey, but everyone loves a good burrito, don't they? Or a good taco, or a good, you know, whatever. But it's like, why not do that thing? If Glory win, you know, if you're someone to sport a ticket, you show your ticket, you get one free. If you're a member, you get 2 things free or something. I don't know. But incentivize people to want to get to the game, and then also have those extra add-ons to it. Because the survey as well that we had to do as a part of being a member, there was like, how well do you know our sponsors or something? Or have you purchased stuff from our sponsors or been engaged with our sponsors? And I'm like,
I know one sponsor. I don't even
know. And can I just say as well, I cannot think of a more perfect fucking match day food to eat
than a burrito.
Then not even a burrito, but just a fucking burrito bowl.
Even then, yeah.
Just a burrito bowl. Yeah. Give me a fucking fork and spoon. Let me just fucking eat a burrito bowl.
And then boom, yeah.
And I've spoken about this before. Back to the member survey. I put in mine, they thought, what was your thoughts on the membership pack? And I said, it's stupid. Why do you have to go to the membership desk at the game? Or it's like you have to go, no, it's
The gates.
no, not the gates. You have to go to their like team store in Fremantle.
Yeah.
But yeah, like why can't they just deliver it to you? It would cost nothing.
Just give it to us.
Just give it to us. Yeah, and you need like the coupon and the little booklet. It's just pointless, man.
I'm saying this for next year. This needs to be A-League wide, especially if your night round's going to be a thing next year as well. But the membership deals across the whole league need to be better. There needs to be incentive for people to actually buy these memberships apart from, oh, well, I get tickets to this home game. Well, it's just like, well, what if you can't go to that home game? Then there's no point in you buying the membership. It's cheaper for you to just not buy the membership at this stage.
And there's something as well, right? So, Glory charge for an adult silver membership, which is the cheapest base membership rate you can get, $350, roughly. If you're not a passionate, loyal Glory fan, why would you want to spend that much on the membership when the actual investment that you're getting out of it is not that much? Because like you said, there was the issues with the membership pack. With our sponsors, we're not really getting many good deals with them. I mean, look, you get the big book that says, oh, here are all our partners and all that. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, they're a bit mid, you know. I mean, I get that people are trying, but I'm not, for me at least, there doesn't seem to be...
supposed to do with Goldfield Farmers?
Yeah, it's like, give me a target, target your...
off of our latest milk products. It's just like, fuck, like, what am I doing with that?
Target you, like, again, just like have a better target audience and just make the deals for the members and the fans more incentivized, more accessible, and then, like I said, people will come back to the games. It's that simple.
Okay, we went on a bit of a rant there. Maybe deservedly so for... Can I just say just one more touch on it? I'm an avid footy scran like watcher or like a reader on Twitter, right? Every post is some like smart ass comment, or it's just like or scran or no scran, guys. Their quote tweet for Josh's one was "What the fuck!" exclamation mark exclamation mark. I've never seen that before. It was the best thing I've ever seen. Yeah, the footy scran. I've never seen them respond "What the fuck" to someone's post.
That's definitely tarnished HBF Park's, you know, impression or their.
I don't think we had one.
If it wasn't
even
there
I
before,
hate HBF Park.
It's gone now.
It is.
If you look at all
Long
their
gone.
strands, it's just like this one. They're all like 100k, 200k,
Yeah.
500k views. That's a big one.
And there's a
Yours is 2.2.
It was like out for 6 hours when I woke
Yeah.
up in the morning. It was on like a milli.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
Fucking hell.
And then all these Italians are like, what is this?
Oh.
Ah, the cazzo.
Anti-Italian discrimination.
Yeah. Did you want to preview City?
I guess so. I mean, what else is there to talk about at
Disaster.
this stage? Look, City are a mixed bag. I think we can all agree this season they've been a very mixed bag. Quality side on their day they can beat any team in the league comfortably. However, their day has not come around often this season. Will it come on the weekend at their home ground at Amy Park? Most likely, knowing our luck recently, but
It's Tour of Duty.
it is Tour of Duty as well. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So good luck to all the Shed members that are over there in Melbourne right now. But oh my god, not 2 million views. What? You might be one of the most like hype.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. Let's go. All right. But aside from that, let's actually preview the game against City this week. Now, Kolakovsky possibly making his return.
Not possibly, definitely.
Definitely making his return. Hopefully.
It's on his Instagram
Yeah,
story,
put it
bro.
on his
He's
Instagram.
back. He's back.
Okay, he's back. Will he get the start is the main question here. Now, I hope he does, because I don't want to see David Williams starting again. Not because I don't rate David Williams, but purely just because I don't want him starting. Much better off the bench. Do you give Jaden Gorman the chance to start next to Taggart? Maybe. Maybe give him the chance to start.
No, I reckon Zimmerina.
I reckon.
Put him on the bench, man. Come on. He deserves...
If it will get certain people out of my mentions, put him on the bench.
Yeah, let me just say real quick, Alex, about look. Why not give him a go? I'm
happy to give him a go. I never said don't give him a go. I just said don't start him.
pretty sure you said you'd rather that he was launched into the NPL and never seen again.
I never said that.
What's the effect of that? Words to
I
the
never
effect
said
of that.
I never said that. I said he should be in the NPL to get games. I never said launch him into the NPL and forget about him. I said State League 1.
State League One. Well, more to the point. There needs to be a better partner for Tags, but I like the idea of Taggart and Benny up front because those two guys seem to have a good connection. And Benny and Taggart, I'm pretty sure they both started up top against Adelaide. I forgot who our two wide boys were. Was it Kamau and
It was Kamau and no, not Anasmo. It was Kamau
No, it's
and
Kamau and Anasmo.
No, it was
Osler, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Kamau and Osler.
Can Osler can Osler start? That's my question. I just think with Trent, he's a bit like David Williams in the sense that he's an impact player off the bench. I don't think he can start for me.
I honestly wasn't too upset with him in terms of starting. I thought he did fine. Look, he didn't set the world alight, which is like I don't think anyone was expecting him to. But he was fine. Like honestly, I had no complaints about him, especially in those early stages. I think he got subbed off for Doggy, I believe. I can't quite remember.
he stayed on the whole game.
Oh, stayed on the whole game. Well, there you go. I mean, like,
0 accurate crosses.
look, maybe you don't start him, but I didn't have any complaints about him. Certainly, I thought there was certainly people in that attacking transition that did worse than he did that day. In terms of the attack,
Yeah. Is it going to be an obvious name?
Mr. Moo. Mr. Moo.
Come on,
Nah,
that's
Simo wasn't that bad against Adelaide compared to his other games.
Yeah, I know, but he wasn't. That's compared to his other games.
Well, he set a low bar.
He set a very,
He didn't
very low
score
bar.
an own goal, so
Or give away a pen.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this from you lot. I don't want to hear this. I wouldn't start Osler, no, but I thought he did fine.
Get him off the bench, though.
I would get him off the
Yeah,
bench.
get him off
I would
the
get him
bench.
off the
Cause
bench.
a bit of chaos.
If I had to pick a starting lineup, Ollie Sale in goal, that'd be my pick. Back four, I'd go Katrumbis. Actually, no, sorry. I would go. Actually, shit, this is a good question, hey? Look, is McLaren going to start is the question. I honestly think Max Caputo will start, and even at that stage, if Caputo is starting, do you go for the full try-hard 3 points, or do you put Majeka Dunmi in this lineup? Personally, I put Majeka Dunmi in it. But, yeah, I honestly am debating it at this stage.
Look, pending how Western United go, I'd rather not finish last again, please.
That's true.
So try and go with our best team. Look, I think Rawlins might have a case to start against City because I thought Katrumbis was particularly piss poor defensively for his usual standards. I thought he was at fault for a couple of goals and some of his positioning was a little bit off. So if you went with Rawlins and then you went with... Look, I like Majeka Dunmi as well. I think he's got a lot of potential, and we've always said that on this platform. But I thought he was particularly crap against Adelaide. And look, every player is going to have a good day and a crap day, but he was not the only one. But I probably would start Majex, and I probably would start Shush next to him. Riley Warland, he can stick at left back for me. In terms of the midfield too, it's going to be Musti and G. As much as I despise that midfield combination. I'd rather see Carluccio start, and I'd also want to see Anasmo start. Just go at him, and then Taggart and Benny up top. I just want to go out guns blazing and see what we can do. I'm going to predict though that City beat us 3-1.
That's fair.
For as much as I want to see us win, I think a 3-1 loss is probably more likely. But I hope that the players understand. You got the Glory Shed members coming over to support you at Amy Park. Put in a good performance for them. You know, the game against Adelaide, shit. Sort your stuff out. Put in a much better performance with the fans that are coming over because, you know, before you know it, the season will be over and then, boom, everyone will be off on holiday again. So hopefully we can try and cause an upset, but I don't think I can really see it, to be honest.
The only difference I would make in that lineup, aside from Luke Bodnar being in the midfield, no. In all seriousness, the only lineup change I'd make, I would start Latchman in centre back with Majex.
Is he fit?
Oh, is he in? I don't.
Didn't he get injured in the Adelaide game?
Did he?
Lashman?
Yeah.
I can't
I
remember.
don't think so.
In the warm-up?
I don't think so.
He came off the bench.
Just check it.
Came off
But
the bench.
if he is fit,
I probably would play next to Shush.
no. I would play him next to Majex and I'd play Shush at left back. Because here's my only problem. I don't know how comfortable I am with the prospect of Yakalish running at Riley Warland. I'm not comfortable with most people running at Riley Warland, but Yakalish is one of those guys where I think like
Just
he can
take him out,
exploit it.
Riley. Doesn't matter.
If Riley does start, Riley
Kevin Muscat,
order
tackle.
66,
That's it, take
Kevin
him out.
Muscat.
Do it on-
But yeah, I think that's probably the only change to the lineup I'd make. Majex has won me over. He's won that starting spot for me for the rest of the season. But I'm agreeing more along your line of the 3-1. Maybe not as bad. I expect a bit more of a better defensive performance, especially that McLaren probably won't start. Tolgai Arslan might tear us apart, though. I'm not excited for that. I want to be optimistic. I think we'll score a couple. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I don't think we beat them away, but I'm hoping for a good response. I do think that we can grab some goals here, potentially. This Melbourne City defence has not looked particularly great this season. Curtis
what does
Good,
ours look like,
Curtis Good most likely on his way out to Thailand as well.
Our defense looks shit.
It's
Never
looked
works.
terrible. There needs to be a big
50
revamp next
goals
season.
conceded, guys. Come
Look,
on.
if we do get some of these signings in that we're talking about, we're in for a bit of a better season next season. Do we push for the 6?
Yes.
I think we push for the 6. But personally, we need to just put all our focus now. I know top 8 is probably dead at this stage, unfortunately.
Yeah, we fucked it.
Let's just put all our focus into finishing the season strong and just getting some good notes for next season. Honestly, that's all we can hope for at this stage. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna say another 4-2 loss. I just think you can just see the mental fatigue of the players, man. At this point,
You think they're tired?
I think they're tired, but I also think there's going to be a lot of people leaving, and I think they're just like, oh, we don't care anymore. There's no point. Who gives a shit? Besides your players like Tags and stuff, he's still playing for the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it will be another 4-2 loss, and I think we'll play. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll play very well until the end of the season. I just think from this point on, especially against Adelaide, we just looked like we didn't want to be there. There was no hunger.
Because we played well for the first 20, 25 minutes, but then
Yeah.
30 minutes onward, that was just
We played well for the first 30, but after that, I don't know what happened. It just fell apart, man. And this is going way back to when you Taggart had a bad performance last week. As I said, he played 3 games in 7 days. I think Tags will win the Golden Boot race. Honestly do. But I think 4-2.
That's fair enough. I want to bring up one more point, and this is a really small point, but it's been nagging at me for about a week and a half now. I saw a post by Aussie Scout. Now, Aussie Scout, I've heaps of respect for him. I think he does great content, great work. What pisses me off, though, is that he tends to really, really overread stats that I think are just not needed to be read into.
Which one?
There was one that he put out last week, which was most progressive passes. Giordano Colli ranked top of the list, and I think Musti Amini ranked third. I'm just going to say... Sorry, Musti was first, and Giordano Colli ranked 5th in the league.
Yeah.
I just want to say, sure, read into tactics and all that you want, but fuck me, the amount of people that I saw people saying, oh, but Perth Glory fans were telling me that Gio Colli was shit, and look how good he's doing with progressive passes. It's just like, well, when you play a deep double pivot... and you're playing all of your passes forward. By the way, Gio Colli has not been a playmaking whiz this season. I've seen so many sideways passes from him. Jesus Christ. No, I'm just going to say, look, I respect a lot of these people that do read into these statistics, but it just irritates me how people are so quick to just bite and read into any little statistic. Like another one. Remember, did you see the Jed Drew one the other day?
Was it the XG?
No. It was under 21 footballers in the top 37 leagues in the world that had the most sprints at a certain speed over I don't even know what it was. It was just such a weird and specific stat, and Jed Drew's ranked 7th in the world, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? It's like, what does this tell me? Right. Jed Drew's a great athlete, sure, I already knew that, but it doesn't give me the full story, which is he's not a great technical footballer.
Can I just jump on that progressive passes point though? There's a good comment that was put underneath it in terms of we don't really know where they're measuring the progressive passes from. Like the position on the pitch and how far they're progressing the ball. We don't really know all the aspects to that data and also how it was collected. But he's fairly, look, controversial or not, he's fairly technical and he can play a good pass. He just doesn't play enough, in my opinion. But I also believe that is a condition of him playing in a double pivot. You're not really someone that's meant to play loads of creative passes, but G is someone that I think can play good passes, but I think, he needs to do that more, and when he does it more, he will then get better at doing it, because I don't think he's shit. I mean, he's always a player. He's always the player. Josh, I can understand if you don't rate him, and that's fine, but he's been the player for me that I have turned and tossed over the most, because some of me thinks that there's a bit of something in him, and then there's another part of me that goes, no, he's shit. He's just a standard NPL player. G has always been a player that I want to see more from, but back on the Aussie Scout point, stats can be very misleading, especially when you just take the stat at face value, because if you just see, G Collie has a high SOFA score rating or a high foot mob rating, or, he makes a lot of progressive passes, yeah, sweet. But in terms of chances created, he wasn't even in the top 30. So stats can be deceiving, but it's also good to get a bit of context. But I don't mind those stats, because just another point as well, Aussie Scout, players under 23 that have been played by your club, we were only second to Newcastle for the highest percentage of teams in the A-League that gave opportunities to young players this season. But that's more or less a case of us being in receivership. But even
the two clubs that are financially in the motor are the two clubs that rely on.
But guess what? The fact that we've got a good cohort coming through means that we're going to be better set up for when we do get to a position where we are good. We can just go, right, okay, Alex Bolton, boom, get in there, and then he'll go, yeah, sweet, I'm ready to go, guys. I'm good, let's go. Or Seb Despotovsky, boom, first game, goal. That's how confident I am with the development pathway that we will have for our young guys. I think they will be much better coming into the team than perhaps some of the younger guys that have come before them over the last few years.
That's fair enough. I think I might more just want to sort of make a point that just don't fucking read into stats all the time, man. There's so much that people miss about actually watching a game of football in favour of just reading a stat sheet, and it just pisses me off sometimes. And it just happened to be about the two midfielders that we've been complaining about this season, about how they lack so much creativity going forward. And effectiveness, yeah. All right. I don't think we have anything else to touch on, really, considering that the Melbourne City game is tomorrow and it's been a bit of a quiet week. But thank you guys so much for joining us in for episode 3 of the Shed End podcast. Now, hopefully the audio will sound a bit better this time. We've done a bit of a mucking around and stuff with the microphones and stuff like that. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode here. A bit more of a sort of deeper look into our situation going forward for the rest of the season. A bit more of a negative one, we'd have to say, but, that's football. Sometimes shit happens. And
Negative ones get more views anyway.
Absolutely. So,
Stigma.
so in advance, thank you guys for helping us reach 10,000 subscribers overnight. But in all seriousness, guys, thank you so much for watching the video and for liking and subscribing if you haven't, if you have done so so far. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next episode.